The year is 2050, and your morning is not starting well. School is closed for another heat day, which means the kids have to stay home and the AC has to keep running. Your usual babysitter can't come help because the tracks for their commuter train were bent by the heat. And to make things even worse, your dog really needs a walk, but the pavement is hot enough to cause third-degree burns to any paw or person that touches it. In many parts of the world, this scorching future is already here. On average, heat waves are happening more often, are stronger, and last longer. But according to a 2022 projection, by 2050, Earth's mid-latitudes could be facing extreme heat, between 90 and 180 days a year, with tropical regions suffering even more. So, how hot is too hot? And what can people do to deal with the heat? While human bodies are pretty good at controlling temperature, our cooling systems only work in the right conditions. When air temperatures rise, the hypothalamus tells blood vessels near the skin to widen, letting more blood flow near the body's surface and give off heat. This chain of hormones also turns on our sweat glands. As sweat evaporates, it pulls heat away from our skin. But if humidity is high, the rate of evaporation slows down and eventually stops. Scientists use this idea to measure humidity with something called wet bulb temperature, in which they wrap a wet room temperature cloth around a thermometer to see if evaporation will lower the reading. If it doesn't, it's too humid for sweat to cool us down. A wet bulb temperature of about 35 degrees is generally considered the limit of human survival, though current temperatures rarely reach this point. The U.S. National Weather Service uses the relationship between humidity and air temperature as the basis for their heat index. As those two measurements rise, the heat index rises too, and heat is considered dangerous if the index goes above 39.4 degrees. That's 103 degrees. But even a lower heat index can be dangerous over multiple days. A heat wave is a stretch of 2 or more days of unusually hot weather for a place and season. For example, a string of 30-degree days in Houston, Texas, is normal in the summer, but would count as a heat wave in March. And the impact of these events affects nearly every part of daily life. Imagine a June heat wave hits a tropical city. The first to feel its effects are outdoor workers. Their heavy sweating leads to dehydration and muscle pain called heat cramps. If they keep going, their condition could get worse, leading to heat exhaustion and even heat stroke. A life-threatening illness that happens when a body's temperature goes above 40 degrees Celsius. Medical emergency calls rise across the city, often for children and people who are pregnant or elderly. The heat also increases hospital visits for heart, kidney, and lung-related conditions, creating a flood of patients that threatens to overwhelm medical workers. Over the following week, the city slows almost to a stop. Schools and construction. Sites close. Airplanes need to lower their weight limits to take off, forcing countless travelers off their flights. Restaurants shut down as overheated kitchens become unbearable. Residents who stay inside with air conditioners remain safe. But running AC isn't cheap, and many families have to choose between staying cool and staying fed. Either way, if the EI2 heat continues, the strain from these air conditioners could overwhelm the power grid, possibly leading to citywide outages. These consequences are all very real. Each year, close to 500,000 people die from excessive heat, and these extreme conditions are only becoming more common. We can reduce medical harm by getting help for heat-related illnesses, staying hydrated, and keeping people cool through public access to water and AC. But don't let anyone tell you 1 to 2 degrees doesn't matter. It will change our whole way of life.